Now I will turn it over to our fierce leader, Saqib.
Thank you, Amy. And hello, everybody. What a treat. So, what an honor it is to be speaking to the very first graduates of the Power Course. We started this journey together nearly 2 years ago and have now arrived at this historical moment of completing our discourse. From the bottom of my heart, I want to congratulate the 8 of you for all the hard work you have put in this endeavor. It has not been easy, and I have a suspicion that at one point or another, every one of you thought about quitting. God knows I did. But we are here now. So congratulations to you and to us. Two years ago, we started with the ambition to stand on the shoulders of giants such as Flores, Heidegger, Unger, Rumi, and others to develop a new kind of program for cultivating sensibilities and skills for dealing with messes, for reinventing our identities and careers, and really taking leadership in our communities that we care about. We promised you that we will provoke a new kind of an observer for our shared and individual reality and introduce you to the ability for navigating it. In reflecting my conversations with each of you, I can say with some confidence that thanks to the mystery, together we have delivered on that promise. Congratulations to us again. And more importantly, in the process, we have invented a new tradition together. You might ask, what kind of tradition is it? Before we associate this tradition with any kind of previous philosophical schools, such as linguistic ontology or hermeneutics or existentialism, or give it a new name of altwork, we can say that this is a tradition of breaking the barriers and going beyond what we have previously thought possible. This is a tradition to tap into our innate superpowers to take care of ourselves, our communities, and our shared home called Earth. Looking at the results that each of you have gotten in your lives, we can say with confidence that it is a tradition of living life powerfully. So let's review. What does it mean to live life powerfully? To live life powerfully is to live in an interpretation that you have agency, that you are more powerful than you imagine, and that you are not a victim of circumstances. To live life powerfully is to encounter the unfolding mystery of life and navigate change in such a way that the mysterious force of life nourishes you and doesn't work against you. How could life work against you? The moment you begin to begrudge something, someone, or some event that has damaged you in any way, and you live in the interpretation that there is nothing much you can do about it other than hope and pray, life begins to work against you. You build your prison cell of victimhood first, and then life says, okay, let's let this be your prison cell and let's live here in misery. The master of life declines the invitation to stay small and stay trapped in situations and interpretations. The master of life reinvents the meaning of each situation so that the new interpretation becomes the foundation and energy for a different kind of future. So this life force, it promotes those to higher levels that are willing to be a cause without cause. What does it mean to be a cause without cause? What does it mean to be a cause without cause? It is to stand for something for no reason other than your own conviction. That is to become a cause for something happening in the world unreasonably without normal rationalistic reasons. Meaning, you're willing to be the reason, and no other reason other than your willingness and commitment needs to be there for you to take a stand. Being a cause requires a stand, an actionable, ethical stand of what is acceptable and not acceptable to you, and what is worth pursuing in your life and with your work. When you become a stand, a cause without cause, the mystery begins to reshape your reality. You experience yourself as someone who doesn't just go along with reality like a swept along observer, but as someone who generates a new and different kind of reality with your stand. Becoming this kind of being who takes a stand and becomes a legend to one's family, to one's community, no matter how small or large, becoming this kind of being is our historical birthright. How so? Let's take a look. You have learned that as this lingo-bio beings, we are born into historical narratives, and we can get trapped in these narratives. Some that have been passed on to us, and some we invent for ourselves. But there is no power in stories of being a victim and being not good enough and never getting what you want, and so on and so forth. As this lingo-bio beings, we have full access to transforming our stories for ourselves and our communities. We are these beings who have the possibility to be open to new interpretations. Innovation is really a matter of delivering a new interpretation in a stuck situation where everyone else seems to be resigned. You can build this capacity for transformation and innovation by carefully examining your stuck interpretations about situations and by inventing new interpretations that give you some room to move, collaborate, and think together with other people. If everyone stuck to their own personal truth, we will fall to general societal anxiety and loneliness, which is what seems to be happening right now. To live a new reality that is different from what you're living now, you would want to build an ambition for philosophically seeing the reality in a different way. Let me say that again. To live a new reality that is different from what you're living right now, you would want to build an ambition for philosophically seeing the reality in a different way. Philosopher means lover of wisdom. You must be willing to be a philosopher of your life and take responsibility as a matter of choice, not as a matter of obligation in any domain, personal or social, that is less than satisfying to you in any way. There is a great deal of power in generating a new context for yourself to live in. Life is bound to bring you breakdowns and challenges, as you may have noticed. If you get trapped in the feelings and emotions of the breakdowns, you cannot possibly have a new possibility. But getting trapped is not probable, it is inevitable. Since the dawn of time, human beings have invented and reinvented our existence repeatedly. The power to reinvent our existence has been our birthright since the beginning of the time. In a mad rush to build a formulaic world, we have forgotten that we have these powers for reinventing ourselves. It would serve you well to remember and remind each other that you are the inheritor of these powers. You did not just get them with your hard work or your money. These are the gifts that are your birthrights that humans have simply forgotten. You can reclaim these at any moment. And no matter what the situation is, you can care, you can listen, and you can think. And then you can take responsibility for making an assessment. Don't fall to the interpretation that you need to make a perfect, fail-proof assessment. You will never have perfect assessments. Sometimes you will open your mouth and invent gorgeous gardens, and other times you will open your mouth and make big messes. If you find out that you have just created a mess by opening your mouth or breaking your promise, then you own it straight up. Deal with the consequences and clean it up. No more hiding messes under the rug. You own where you have fallen on your integrity. So, we are the kind of beings that are designed to fall. We are fallible beings. Just because you fall once, twice, thrice, or 20 times does not mean that you're stupid, you're not enough, you're less than, and that you will never have satisfaction. What does it mean? It means you're a human being. When you find yourself fallen and deeply dissatisfied in some situation, what to do if you find yourself fallen and deeply dissatisfied in some situation? You can take responsibility for your own satisfaction by taking any number of actions. What exactly to do in each situation will vary from person to person and from time to time. But how you be in those situations will determine the next state of your life. And we are always inside one or another situation. When we are satisfied, when we are happy, our situation becomes sort of invisible to us. But when we are dissatisfied, the situation reveals itself fully to us. So, whether to engage or to flee, fight or run in a situation will be much better assessed by the kind of being you would have become by the time you encounter the situation. Telemarketers are not taking a break right in the middle of important conversation on Saturday morning. There is telemarketers. Never hesitate to invest yourself and your resources into preparing and becoming ready. What is luck but a breakdown meeting preparation? But what happens despite all preparation if one day you find yourself in the darkest, deepest hole and all hope seems to have been dimmed? At that moment, recall that what you really are is a mystery full of power, possibilities, and imagination, with billions of others belonging to your species, your human tribe. Pick your device and call one of them. Let someone help you with your stuck assessments. Belonging, we said, is a secret of power. Your belonging is about your trust in being taken care of. It is cultivated by bringing to table what you want for yourself. That is care. Your belonging is your story about who your family is, who your people are, who you care about, and the traditions and institutions that you become a member of. Your power essentially expands by expanding your story about your belonging. As a change maker, you could belong to a major concern and a community of people fighting a monstrosity of your era and your community. In your deepest and darkest times, it is your belonging that comes to rescue you. The commitment to belonging to some community is the most fundamental commitment of life. Today, many of us live in this interpretation that if we commit, we will be trapped. So we ignore the challenges, opportunities, and communities that show up right in front of us. What shows up right in front of you is your destiny. The illusion of unlimited freedom is actually a loaded gun pointing right at your foot. It is your commitment, your care, and your belonging that gives you your true freedom. It is with commitment, and by honoring your commitment, you will unfold a mysterious potential and become a beacon of light in this increasingly dark world. I have faith in you and invite you to meet every breakdown joyously, singing and dancing. And in doing so, make the most of your life by living it as powerfully as you possibly can. That's it. Thank you for listening. Now, I would like to hear from each of you. What is this conversation provoking for you?